Well, he's known as the wall in the cricket circles, a wall that can't be breached, a wall that stands tall, and that's why when he talks, everyone listens to him. We are here to listen to him as well. Thank you very much for sharing your time, Rahul.
Nice, happy to be here.
Well, since you have joined a health initiative, I want to ask you this question. When a sports person talks about health, do you think that, people take it that much more seriously because a sports person is expected at least to be fit for life?
I hope so. I'd hope so. But look, no, I think health and fitness is a part of what a sportsman does, and I guess we're lucky as sportsmen in a lot of ways that for us, our profession or our life really depends on staying healthy and staying fit. So it just becomes what you do, as part of your routine. Sometimes it's not that easy for normal people, for people who have work and jobs and do other things in life. Sometimes, wellness and fitness is sometimes a challenge, in big cities especially. So it requires an extra level of determination, discipline, sometimes for normal people who have normal 9-to-5 jobs and commute to be able to do that.
And what is your specific role going to be in here?
So I'm obviously promoting the Manipal group and the Manipal hospitals as they venture across all over India. A very well-known brand in India. And the hospitals are some of the best hospitals in the world, which focus not only on illness but also on wellness and on prevention of disease and prevention of illness, which I think is a critical part of what Manipal Hospital does.
I'll just go back a little to your playing days when sports medicine was not at this level at that time. You had a pretty long career. How did you manage your body, and were you aware of sports medicine and how to stay fit at that time?
Not at the start. I must admit, when I first started, our knowledge of sports medicine, fitness, health, was very rudimentary. We didn't have access to a lot of, I think, what's available today. So we just, you asked your seniors, you watched what other people did, and you just sort of carried on. I think it's only, I'd say, since sort of 2000, over the last couple of decades, maybe a decade and a half, really, where there's been a real push towards fitness, and not that it's not been there, but I think the science has come into it, the science, the knowledge, and it's great to see. I mean, hospitals like Manipal and the Manipal University and people like that, the work that they do in this area makes a big difference to sportsmen. A lot of the elite sportsmen, they get access to good physiotherapy, good training. Today, if you're an elite sportsman in any sport, you can get access to virtually everything. But I think what's really changed, I think, now is the landscape for people just below the elite level. People who are aspiring state players, domestic players, players in the grassroots level of various sports. I think the access to sports medicine, sports science, physiotherapy that is prevalent today is much better than it was a decade and a half ago, and that's showing in results. It's showing in the fitness of players and showing in our results not only in cricket but even in other sports.
Right, sure enough, but we're going to talk a little bit about cricket because of the ongoing Asia Cup, and we know as many as 3 players are in the sick pay. You've been a captain of the Indian cricket team. How much does it throws off a team's plans when suddenly you have 3 players in a sick pay?
Look, it can be tough at times, but I think teams have kind of got used to it now. I think you've sort of, I think the amount of cricket that's being played today is quite a lot. So I mean, people don't think twice about it happening in football. I mean, you see it happening all the time in sports like football and hockey and stuff, where people just, it happens a lot. We're kind of not used to it that much in cricket because maybe we haven't been playing that much. But over the last, so many years, most teams, not only India, every team plays so much of cricket that I think injuries and rest and managing workloads has become a critical part of, I think, what teams do and what support staffs do. So, look, as much as it might be disappointing in the short term, but I just think it throws up new opportunities for new people who've probably been performing and who've been playing consistently with the A team and stuff. So it's part and parcel of, I think, what teams have to deal with now.
And would you say, despite all these injuries, India is on course for its 7th Asia Cup title?
Well, you had to play well. I think, that we played a really good game against Pakistan the other night. I thought it was very clinical, very, very professional the way the team went about it. But you're going to have to put in 3 or 4 more performances like that, and Afghanistan is proving to be a very pleasant surprise, I must say. Playing some very good cricket in this tournament as well. So it will be dangerous just to focus only on Pakistan. I think there's some very good teams in that tournament.
Well, we had a quick transition from Test cricket to one-day cricket. The team, would you say that an Asia Cup win now will help people forget the memories of the summer, the agonizing tales that we have had in England?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much of cricket happening nowadays. So if we win the Asia Cup and we lose in the West Indies, then do we go back? Or no, I don't think you should compare and try and mix those two things. I think each and every series has an opportunity to learn and an opportunity to grow. You know, what's happened in England has happened. The Asia Cup's obviously a new opportunity for a new set of boys to play good cricket and keep improving and keep learning as they sort of, you know, lead in and head towards the World Cup. So look, I don't think you compare the two, and important thing is what can you learn from each and every tournament you play in.
2007, you were the captain when India won in England, and that was the last time we won in England. Many people say that this is the best team in 15 to 20 years. How would you compare the two sides?
Look, I mean, I don't want to get into, you know, commenting on what people have said. I think it just gets blown out of proportion unnecessarily. But the point is, I think we played some very good cricket in this series at various stages in this tournament. I thought our bowling was quite exceptional, you know, just to see the quality of the 5 bowlers we have, and not only the 5. I mean, just looking at even the A team that you know, I've been managing. We've had seven or eight fast bowlers, right? So we've had some really good. I think there's a really good group of fast bowling at the moment in India, which is a really positive sign, which augurs well for us in the future. But obviously, the guys who played on this series will obviously look at this series as, say, an opportunity that was missed. I mean, they were competitive, they played good cricket on some tough wickets, especially for the batting. But they will see it as an opportunity missed, because, you know, you never know. If 4 years is a long time in the sport,
right?
And who goes there, who has the opportunity to go back in England in 4 years' time? Will we have the same bowling attack? You need a bit of luck as well at times. Sometimes, you know, the stars need to be aligned for you for everything to come together, as probably they were for us in 2007. Will that happen again when we go 4 years later? Who knows, right? At this time, you know, we had a really good bowling attack, and so, you know, bowling attacks generally win you series. So I think they'll look at it as an opportunity missed, and hopefully we can learn from it.
Talking about your bunch of boys, you've been mentoring a group ever since the 2019 World Cup. How would you say they have shaped up someone like a Prithvi Shaw or a Shubman Gill, Shivam Mavi? How have their transition been?
I think it's been terrific just to see the talent that's coming through. I mean, I obviously, coach and work with the India A team, and I do the same with the under-19s over the last 2.5, 3 years. So, yeah, I mean, and we played a lot of series against other under-19 teams, other A teams, and I think, you know, we've got some incredible talent coming through, some really good talent coming through, you know, in all departments, right. Not just focused on batting. You know, you don't generally say our batting was always quite strong, but we've got talent right through the spectrum now, which is really good to see. Guys are really professional, very fit. So yeah, it's a really good sign. It's just a question of how quickly can we help them make that transition, make that jump into international cricket.
You know,
the signs are good.
I was reading somewhere Steve Waugh has said that because they have downgraded Sheffield Shield so much that they are not getting quality Australian cricketers coming through the supply chain right now. Do you see that kind of a situation happening in India, because they are being promoted to IPL very soon?
No, I actually see a lot of talent coming through in India actually at the moment. I think, especially in white ball cricket, I think the talent we have is quite exceptional. We put up 2 teams against Australia A and South Africa A just recently, India A and India B.
Right.
And, you know, India B, I think, won the tournament, and India A was, you know, very, very competitive, and we could, you know, we put together 30, and then the Australian A side, I think, had 7 or 8 international players. The South Africans had 6 or 7 international players, and, you know, we didn't have that many international players, and so I think in white ball cricket I think we're really producing some very, very good talent and some very good.
What about red ball cricket?
Red ball cricket is a bit of work to do. It's coming through. Like I said, there's a lot of talent and it's coming through. Don't get me wrong, it's not coming through, but I think our red ball results at the A team level again, I think, have been good. You know, we played an Australian team just recently, which had 8 of the boys who went to who are just going to play against Pakistan and UAE in a couple of weeks' time, and they played against us. And India A had a much younger team. We had only 1 international player. So, you know, considering all of those things, I think we're doing the right things, and we're getting a lot of our young kids exposed to some good, serious international talent. But like with everything else, I think red ball takes a little bit more time. It's a tougher form of the game.
It's a work in progress, you would say.
It always is. I think red ball cricket is tougher. It's to produce a very good test player is, I'd say, tougher, in my opinion, my personal opinion, than it is to produce a white ball cricketer.
Talking about Virat Kohli, the captain, he'll probably lead this bunch for a long time now. What would you say will really define his legacy as a captain?
if he can get this team to play to its potential, I think, you know, he's obviously setting a bar in terms of the benchmark, in terms of his batting. I mean, there's no doubt about it. He's, you know, his batting was a standout in the series when batting was very, very difficult. He was head and shoulders above everyone else on both teams. I mean, it's been phenomenal to see the way he's been batting, and you know, incredible to see how he's keeps improving, keeps raising the bar every time he goes back. And for me, that's a really good sign. You know, every time, even if he has a tough series in a particular country, when he goes back there the next time, he always corrects it. And I think that's a great lesson for a lot of, you know, it's the kind of lesson I tell a lot of our young boys. I say that there's no harm in failing once or twice, and you will fail, and that's part of sport. But how you can bounce back and how you can learn from those lessons and come back is exactly what I think Virat Kohli is showing a lot of us. So yeah, I have no doubt that, you know, he's, you know, his legacy as a player and as a batsman is for certain.
Virat Kohli is a huge role model for us today, but there are other sports who are throwing up role models through, you know, big wins. Would you say that India is slowly moving from a one-sport nation to a multi-sport nation, given the way athletes in other fields are performing?
I think it's unfair to say we were ever only a one-sport nation. I think it's unfair to so many of the great sportsmen of others at other sports in the past. We've had some incredible sportsmen. It's very unfair to say that. Yes, if you can say the media has started focusing more on other sport now, you know, I would kind of agree.
Sponsors also have come to other sports.
Yes, and I think that's true, and that's great to see.
Yeah.
You know, it's phenomenal to see support that sponsorships getting for other sports, and also the and like you said, the media attention that is there in a lot of these sports, because I think both of those are in some ways dependent on each other. You know, if you get the media to support something, the sponsors are likely to come there as well.
Right.
So it's a kind of dependency on each other, and mainly dependent on the performance of our athletes. So you know, when you have athletes like Saina Nehwal or Sania Mirza or PV Sindhu, or just to name a few, or you know what Abhinav's done for shooting, or you know what our athletes have done in these Asian Games, that immediately attracts, you know, media attention, and maybe that attracts sponsorship as well. So it's all it's a cycle. And
Just tell us the work you did with Swapna Burman, the hip athlete.
Well, I don't think I did much, but I just, you know, like to sort of congratulate her. Firstly, I think she did all the work, to be honest. I think it's a phenomenal story, and it's a phenomenal
She gave a
achievement.
glowing recommendation to you.
Yeah. No, I think the work that Go Sports Foundation has done, you know, behind the scenes with Swapna, and the team that sort of works at Go Sports, and the work that they did with her was quite terrific. You know, John Gloucester, who's a physio at Go Sports, worked with us with the cricket team. He's had a huge role to play in, you know, helping her through her unique difficulties. And again, I think someone like her, in the background she comes from, is a great role model, right? I mean, I think that's the way the media has highlighted all of that. I think it's a great inspiration for so many young boys and girls across the country, and that's exactly what we need.
And what kind of work you're doing at the Dravid Padukone Center to help the generation next? So
Vivek Kumar, who's a friend of mine, has set up the sort of Padukone Dravid Center of Sports Excellence. You know, I think it's really a sort of the first, you can say, a private facility that's open to so many athletes, to, you know, give them the opportunity to train in infrastructure that's probably available to you know, elite athletes.
And one final question today, when you talk to the young boys and girls, what is that one word of advice, or, you know, one line of advice that you give them for a long sports career, and a successful one at that?
You'd enjoy the sport. I think there's going to be ups and downs, but most importantly, you've got to enjoy what you do. If you don't enjoy what you do, and you're doing it for anything else other than enjoyment of the sport and the true love of the sport, it can be a long, hard journey.
Thank you very much, Vijay.
Thank you.